Welcome back to my hot kitchen. I'm Wendy, and you and I are going to cook up a dynamite romantic feast for you and your sweetie to enjoy in the privacy of your own home. Tonight's feast will get kicked off with bay shrimp stuffed cucumber cups. The main course will feature grilled scallops over penne pasta and red pepper sauce, and for dessert, Spumoni Parfaits. Let's get the dessert started first. So the first part of this dessert is going to entail a little sugar craft. So bring 1 cup of water and 1 cup of sugar up to a nice simmer. Set your heat on a medium temperature and give it a little loving stir here to help the sugar dissolve. And then cover the syrup with a lid, bring it up to a simmer it for 5 minutes. 5 minutes have gone by, and I'm going to take the simple syrup off the heat for just a moment and allow it to stop bubbling. And then I'm going to whisk in a 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. That's close enough. Just go for it. Any sort of cocoa powder seems to work. I've had good results with both Dutch processed and alkali cocoa powders. Whisk it in until you see it's mostly in there, and then you can return it to the heat. Give a little scrape on the sides and make sure you get all that good stuff in there. And look at that, you are making homemade chocolate syrup. 3 ingredients, a little bit of time. Next thing to do is to bring it back up to a boil or a simmer. Let it simmer for 5 to 10 minutes until the appropriate consistency has been reached. Once again, replace the lid. Let's give this a little loving whisk here. That's about the sort of simmer that you want to see on a syrup like this. If it gets a little bit more vigorous than that, you can whisk it out and take it off the heat for a second. What you don't want to do is have your chocolate sauce boil over onto your cooktop. Let's go ahead and test the consistency here. Dip a nice clean spoon in there and drop it over here in a bowl of cool water and just see how it is. It's coating the spoon, but it's not quite as thick as I'd like to see. So I'm gonna let it go for about another 5 minutes. Give another loving whisk here, and then put the lid back on. In the meantime, this is the perfect chance to get your pudding started. So pudding in its bare essence is just simply sweetened thickened milk. So I'm gonna add 2 cups of milk to a slightly warmed saucepan here. I'm gonna add 3/4 of a cup of sugar to that. And for fun, 2 tablespoons of flour. The flour is going to play the thickening role in our pudding tonight. Grab a clean whisk and whisk these all together. You want to whisk the sugar and the milk and the flour all together before it gets heated for the best consistency. Now I hear some of you out there saying, flour? Well, if you think about it, flour is one of the original thickeners in the kitchen. Long before the Americans invented cornstarch, there was flour. If you think about it, it's pretty natural. You take a grain of wheat and you stick it between 2 stones and you have flour. So I thought for fun we'd demonstrate that you can use flour to thicken a pudding in addition to cornstarch. I will continue to whisk these lovely ingredients together over medium-low heat until I start to see them simmer. Want to keep the ingredients moving so that the milk and the sugar don't scorch. If you want to make a richer pudding, go ahead and substitute 1/2 and 1/2 or a little bit of heavy cream in with your milk. Otherwise, I think you'll find that whole milk does the job just fine. This is looking lovely. I've given it actually another 7 minutes here and it's thickening up gorgeously. Let's give it another little test here on the spoon. You can already see it's coating the spoon much better than the last time we checked it. Into the water to cool it off. Good. It will continue to thicken as it cools down, so just take it off the heat, allow it to sit without the lid on, and whisk it periodically to help it along its way. In the meantime, I'm going to switch over back to my pudding and I'm going to use a spoon for the rest of the process here. This is progressing very nicely. It's thickening up, it's starting to simmer, it's starting to smell very sweet, everything that I want to see. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add in a couple more additives. I have just a couple drops of almond extract. And then, since this is a Spumoni parfait, which features the flavors of cherry, chocolate, and pistachio, I'm going to go ahead and add 2/3 a cup of dark, sweet cherries that have been pitted and chopped. And also, for fun and flavor and for rounding out everything and making it all lovely, a nice little tablespoon of butter. So the next step here is just to keep on stirring, keep all the ingredients engaged, and keep stirring it until it cooks down to a thickness that you know as pudding. And also when the starchiness of the flour has been all cooked out. There is one more element in this pudding recipe that's going to help it to thicken up, and that's the natural pectins that are present in the cherries. Cherries are a great source of that natural thickening agent. It's going to make wonderful, wonderful desserts. The pudding has reached the consistency that I want to see. So now it's time to test it out and make sure the flavor of the flour is cooked out. Drop a little spoon in there, give it a little taste. That's heavenly. I don't taste or feel any flour in my mouth anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and take it off the heat. Continue stirring it, blowing on it to cool it down a little bit. Well, that pudding is in one happy state right now. It's time to start actually building these beautiful parfaits. So I have a couple of cute little glasses here and some husked pistachios. And I'm going to begin building these with a nice base layer of chocolate. Yum. Just a little spoonful in the bottom of each of these glasses. Then the next part is the delicious pudding. Kind of float it on top of the chocolate. Work it out to the edges. This is beautiful. I love making up layered desserts. Let's do another layer of chocolate. Work from the outside in so that you get the prettiest effect. I think it's important to note that if you don't want to make these ingredients from scratch, it's definitely fine to use a boxed pudding and a bottled chocolate syrup. You'll get similar results with a little less work. But if you want to be all hardcore about it, go ahead and do it from scratch. You get better flavor. Nice little generous amount of yummy pistachios in here. Make sure you get them up on the sides of the glass so that they poke through. Make sure the layer is nice and thick as well. Then, more of the delicious pudding. Beautiful. Man, that looks really, really good. I love the green and the red and the brown playing off each other. So pretty. Let's do another little layer of chocolate here. Working from the outside in again. What a fun interpretation of Spumoni. It's a type of Spumoni that you can make even if you don't have an ice cream maker. A little bit more pudding. This time work from the inside out so that chocolate pokes out. Makes a nice ring on the outside of the glass. And this should be getting down to the very last of your pudding here. And now it's time to cover these up and put them in the fridge. So you want to cover these nice and tight and store them in the fridge until they set up. And we'll have more fun with them later. With those in the bag, it's time to move on to the appetizer. So what you're going to want to do is start with your cucumber and trim off the ends. Then stand it on its side and use your peeler to peel off nice long strips of peel. And you can peel it all the way off, or you can peel part of it off. You can score it. That part's up to you. I'm going to leave a little bit of the peel on because I like the way that it looks. I'm going to say that's good right there. And then we're going to make these into little cucumber cups. So cut off sections that are about 1.5 inches wide. And when you're shopping for your cucumber, try to pick out a cucumber that will yield about 6 of these delicious little cups for you and your sweetie. And then stand them on their ends here. And use a melon baller to scoop out the insides. Make sure that you don't scoop all the way to the bottom so that you make a little cup to stuff. What you want to do here is just remove most all of the seeds. Very good. Go ahead and move these to the side because you'll be right back with them. And then you want to mix together about 4 ounces of softened cream cheese. You can also substitute Neufchâtel or a nice soft goat cheese if you like. About 1/2 to 2/3 of a cup of bay shrimp. It's helpful to also douse them in a little lemon juice. A couple scallions that you've sliced up, and about a teaspoon of fresh dill weed. And then just blend these all together. So the combination of the cream cheese, the cold cucumber, and the cold shrimp makes a lovely start to this meal. An excellent little appetizer for a summertime meal or a wintertime meal. So once you've got them all mixed together, you don't need to fuss over it too much. Just grab a little bit on the tip of your spoon here, and I suggest using a second spoon to help you out. Go ahead and stuff it into those little cups that you made out of the cucumber. It's quite all right if they're over full. Pile it up on top there for an impressive presentation. Carry on. Those look magnificent. I'm going to put those on a plate and get them ready to serve my sweetie. Beautiful. I'm gonna go find my sweetie. I'll be back.
Wow, those look yummy.
Now with the appetizers and desserts out of the way, it's time to turn our attention to the main course. I'm very excited about this one. I have 8 very large scallops here. And the first thing that I'm gonna do is give them a little bath in some fresh lemon juice. That was the juice of 1 lemon that I used. The next thing to do is to put them on these skewers here. Now I'm working with bamboo skewers. I've already soaked them. So I'm just gonna put 4 on each skewer. And this is how we're going to be grilling them. Wow, these look so good. They're huge. Love them. These very large scallops come from the deepest part of the coldest waters of Alaska. I'm going to give my hands a quick little wash here. And then it's on to the sauce. I'm really excited about this sauce. It's gonna encapsulate the fresh flavors of these beautiful red peppers. I have 2 red peppers that I've cored and diced up, and I'm adding them into this pan here. And then I will add about a cup of chicken stock. You can also substitute vegetable stock if you like, and about a half cup of dry white wine. And all I'm gonna do is just bring this up to a nice little boil and soften up the peppers. And then I'm gonna add a little wedge of onion and a couple cloves of garlic and a little bit of fresh minced basil in there. Give it a little loving stir here. Mix all that yumminess together. And what this is gonna do is just steam and soften up the peppers. In order for that to happen though, I'm going to need to cover it with a lid. It's time to get the pasta started now too. Got a nice big pot of boiling water. Gonna add the little penny pastas in there. And a nice generous amount of salt. Make sure they're well seasoned. And a nice little bit of olive oil as well. Give it a little stir here to keep them from sticking together. And then cook them for about 9 to 10 minutes. And then back over here to work on the side dish, because every pasta deserves an excellent bread to go along with it. So I have 4 nice slices of Italian bread here. And what I'm gonna do is just brush them with a little garlic butter. It's a little melted butter and garlic and basil in there. Then I'm gonna top them off with some really yummy ingredients to kind of complement the scallops. You don't need to go crazy with this because there's also going to be cheese involved. This is more just to soften up the bread and add that extra little layer of flavor. Love a good garlic bread with my pasta. Work it in there a little bit. Try to at least cover all the surfaces. Like I said, you don't need to douse it, just a little brushing. Then some more of these yummy little bay shrimp. Sprinkle these on top lovingly. It's also helpful to douse these with a little lemon juice before you use them as well. And try to spread them out so that your sweetie gets at least 1 little shrimp per bite. Then a little bit of freshly grated Romano cheese. So help to hold the shrimp on there and add that extra little yum. Make sure you save enough to garnish the pasta. And then into the toaster with these. Now, a toaster oven is going to be your best bet for the ultimate in garlicky, shrimpy, cheesy bread. But you can also use the oven. Just set it on a nice high temperature, like 450 degrees, and roll with that. And then it's time to work on the garnish for this yumminess. So I'm gonna make gremolata, which is traditionally parsley, garlic, and lemon zest, all minced up together nice and fine. So I'm gonna start by working on the garlic a little bit, because that's the biggest piece. I'm just gonna work it down into smaller little bits there. And then I'm gonna work on the lemon zest. Now the lemon zest, I peeled right off the lemon with a peeler. And I was pretty careful to just get the yellow part and leave the white part on the lemon, so it should be nice and sweet and lemony. And then once I have it worked into chunks that are about the same size as the parsley leaves, I'm gonna just keep running my knife through it till I have a nice uniform blend of garlic and lemon and parsley. This is a great little topping. It's traditionally served with veal in Italy, but it's also excellent with seafood because of the lemon and the garlic and the parsley together. I do get a little disappointed sometimes when I'm out to eat and the menu says gremolata and it comes out and it's got something besides parsley and garlic and lemon. These 3 flavors together are amazing. And I don't think that anything that is not just these 3 flavors should ever be called gremolata. But that's just me. That looked great right there. Pull that all together, scoop it into my little bowl, and we'll use it to garnish when everything's done. It's time to get the grill fired up. get these scallops on the grill. And before I put them on there, I'm going to use some of that same garlic butter and just brush them lovingly with that. Give them that extra little punch of flavor. Also help to keep them from sticking to the grill. I want these to come off in one piece. Bad boys right on there. Put those on the hottest spot. It's just going to take a few minutes. Make sure you brush the other side lovingly with garlic butter at this time as well. Now it's time to get the pasta out of the hot water here. Situated my sink with a colander so that I can just dump that in there. I'm going to hit it with some cool water to stop it from cooking briefly. There we go. Give it a little shake out. Back into the hot pan. Not necessarily back on the hot burner. I'm just going to mix a little butter in there. Stir that in. That'll help to keep the pasta from sticking to itself. Let's go check on the scallops. These look happy. A little brush with butter. A little dousing of lemon juice, just a little tiny bit for good measure here. Let's give them a flip. Those look yummy. A little more basting here. So the peppers should have cooked down quite a bit, but there should still be quite a bit of liquid in there. It should almost come up to the top of the peppers. And when you reach in there and squeeze the pepper, it should be fairly soft. Now you can use a variety of tools to puree this stuff. You can use the old-fashioned method of a food mill, you can use a blender, or you can use a stick blender. I like working with stick blenders, they're fun. Just put it in there, move it around. Be right about there. Now it's time to check and adjust the seasonings. It's really good. A little salt and pepper will finish it right off. Now, if anything, during the pureeing process, you may have found that you needed to add a little bit of water to thicken it up. It's amazing how the peppers absorb the liquid when they puree down. That's so good. I'm just going to put a lid on that and turn the heat off. Come back over here and check on the scallops. They feel like they're perfect, so I'm going to go ahead and pull them off the grill. And give myself a little room because I'm ready to plate. First thing to do is to put the pasta on the plate. Put it right in the center. Next thing to do is turn off the grill. Bring on the red pepper sauce. Ladle that over the pasta. Look how pretty the color is on that. Love that. And bring on the scallops. Right over the top. A little bit of gremolata. Color it up a bit. A little bit of cheese. And then arrange the little toasts around the 4 points of the plate. And these babies are ready to go on the table. I'll show you how to plate up the dessert after dinner. And just like that, you whipped up a fabulous scallop feast worthy of the finest bistro. Serve this up with a dry white wine such as a dry Riesling, a Pinot Gris, or a Chardonnay. Ciao, Apron. Hi, handsome.
How are you?
Oh, good. How are you?
This looks great.
Mm-hmm.
You look great too.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
That's here.
this is for you.
Little bistro out meal thing for you.
Delicious looking. Oh my goodness, scallops. Ooh, that is heavenly.
That's fun.
Kitchen. This is such a hot kitchen.
There's some nice little light drizzle on there for dramatic effect. So thanks for joining me in my hot kitchen tonight. Have fun turning up the heat in your kitchen, and I'll see you next week. Night night. Pet the kitties.